Hey everyone, today is February 14th, 2023. It's about lunchtime over here. It's going to do a quick daily review recap and then what I'm looking for the rest of the day, and then going over to tomorrow. So as we can see, starting out with the S&P 500 right here, we've had basically just some back and forth days going for the past couple days where they've all just reached to the 1.146. Like if we go back over here to last Thursday, we can see it was the next day was down day, and look at that, it hit the target at the 1.146 and then proceeded to bounce off of that. Then what we have going into the next day after that, we had an overshoot of the target area right here, the low to the high. We can see it bounced off the 1.146 and then just proceeded to blow through it that day. But then today we've had a lot of movement. As you can see, we'll go over that here in just a second. But using the low to high yesterday, we can see when price hit the 1.146 up to the 1.414 area. That was the movement for the day, and now it's been bouncing off ever since it. So today we've had tons of movement. You know, we had a lot of stuff getting reported from the CPI and stuff like that, and had a ton of movement ever since then. So we did have a really good setup here this morning using the Andrews pitchforks trade, using that red semaphore, this red semaphore, and that red semaphore. What you do is, well, price has to break below this one for you to actually first get in it, and you see it didn't. It finally broke right here-ish, something like that. And it already passed the first entry point right here, so here was the second entry point to get in. And when it hits the red line right there, when price does, then the price comes to the 50% level right there. We'll do the pullback. And as you see, it went up there and hit it just fine. I just did a little scalp and trade for it. I was afraid the market was going to go lower, but as you can see, missed out on a lot because price went up there and hit it very easily. And that was kind of the trade for the day right there, because, you know, getting in right about there, you know, it's a 30-point swing. And then one thing I wanted to show that I'm looking at is when I'm in a trade and really looking to get in at a good spot for it right here, using for the intraday trading, using the MFI one down below right here, 15-minute chart, when price gets in the oversold territory right here, a lot of the times it does reverse and go back up is what it's telling you it's going to do. So I don't use it blindly, just like every other time. We'll go over the 4-hour chart where it shows the general direction of the trend we're looking for, and with the MFI for it. But in the intraday chart right here, when you're in a trade, like right here, obviously we're looking to go back to the 1-minute chart. We're looking to go long somewhere right in here. I mean, price had hit the second entry area for it. Price had finally broken below that for it right there. So definitely like this candle, that candle, we're looking to go long. So go to the 15-minute chart right there. We can see that price, there's the candle we got in right here. Price had already been down in here a ton. You know, starting on this candle right here, this one right here, it had broken down into there and kept on going down in there. So price was squarely entrenched in the being the oversold here in the MFI. So that's another reason why to get long in it, to get a safer entry for it. So that's one of the things that I did, and it proceeded to go up there and it hit it. Now I was looking at it and saying, well, why don't you just get in on the 15-minute MFI every time when it gets either, like if it gets over in the overbought territory, short it. If it gets oversold, you buy it. Well, it doesn't work perfectly all the time. So if it's not already in a trade setup, sometimes it doesn't work. It just keeps on going, because like look right here, it's an oversold, and look right there, it just keeps on going and going, going. Low retracement, going. Finally, you have retracement down right there, where if you had gotten in originally, say on this candle right here, you finally could have held it and got a little profit, but it's just not worth going in naked like that for it right there. Sometimes it does turn on a dime, like look at this one right here, turned right up after hitting it, down, turned it up, went back down. So it's just another tool to use when looking at a trade and looking to get into it. If the 15-minute, like say you're getting long, 15-minute MFI is being oversold, definitely get in. An opposite way for going short. And I'll show on oil what I'm looking for here real quick as well, or in a little bit when we get there, just to look for that. So that trade is done. So the rest of the day right here, just hoping we get some more movements the other way. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything going on over here, or anything going on over there, and now it's turned into be almost kind of like once we had these big swings up and down right here, price is now just kind of gyrating back and forth for it. So if, let's see here what this looks like. Has this had a retracement back down? Did not. Did not. Okay, so we do have a potential one right here. But we need price. If we're just taking off this trade right here, the first entry we're looking for wouldn't be until way up here, 4150.75. So we need price to keep on moseying up and hit that before we would look to take the retracement back down to the 38. So assuming the 38% line retracement doesn't get hit, this green line right there, and price keeps on going up, that'd be the first one we're looking for. If we utilize the Andrew Pitchfork's trade, it's kind of along the same area where you see right here, that green line would be the first entry we'd be looking to get into as well. So they're kind of around the same area for the SP 500. Real quick, let's go to the 4-hour chart, look at the MFI for it. MFI had just been touched off being overbought. You can see it was completely oversold way down here, and we've had a nice pop up. Now it's touched off being overbought and has retraced down a little bit. We were charting this channel that it was in right here, but as you can see, price has broken out down to it. So what I'm looking for this channel is that's kind of the upper side of it. There's kind of the lower side of it. So now we are definitely in consolidation phase right here. I'm going to delete some of this to make it a little bit easier to see. Now we're definitely in the consolidation phase of this channel. So when this happens, now that we're in consolidation channel, price has broken out down to the low side. Looks like it's going to break out down here again. It doesn't look like it's going to continue up and go up and make it touch the upper end of the trend channel. So looking at this being in a range right here, there's two things that we expect. Once it breaks this channel, firmly breaks outside of it, then two things are going to happen. We're either going to see a retracement lower, down here, say here's the previous low down here, say down here to at least, let's see if I can grab it this time, at least to the 38% line right here, 40.46. Or when price breaks out of it, we will look for, price comes back out, say price comes back over here for a little bit, then we'll look for, if we don't get that move down, we'll look for a second leg higher before we get a retracement for it. And the target area we'd be looking for that would be at least somewhere between 42.68 to 43.84 for hit that target area, and then see what price wants to do for that. So that's what we're looking at right now. But definitely for the near-term future, price is currently in a range right here, and we're waiting just to see what's going to happen. If it's going to break down lower to the 30% line, or if it's going to go and make a second leg higher up to what I just spoke about. Here in the Russell 2000, you can see using the MFI 4-hour chart, it was being oversold down here. It has a little popped up. It didn't really hit off being overbought over here. But you see right here, price has definitely gotten outside of the trend channel right there. And if you want to look at kind of what was the high and low for it, that's kind of it right there. It has broken down out of it, so now we're looking for move down a little bit lower to the downside. If we use that previous one right there, we see the targets have kind of already been hit. So now price, if you look at it, we'll go to the 1-hour chart because it's a little bit easier to see for it. Now we can see that over here, price is more than likely is in a downward channel for it. You can see it's been in downward channel. It has broken up to the upside right here. So we'll see what's going to happen right there. If this is just temporary right here and we get a retracement back down to break the lower trend channel, because a lot of times when price breaks the trend channel the one way and the trend isn't over, we will see a drastic move in the other direction to overcompensate to get it down below over here to that side right there. So that's what we're waiting to see. If that's going to happen from this trend channel that is currently in right now. If it doesn't, then we could use that as the kind of the consolation area right about there and there for what it has been in to see what it's going to do. But we want to see if this thing's going to break down lower first. Going over to a couple potential trade setups right here. There really wasn't going on anything in the Russell 2000. Even if you go over to the 1-minute chart, it had big swings for it, but there just wasn't enough of a move one direction to get on things. I mean, the closest one is kind of this one, but that one didn't even come close to hitting the 3.618 channel down there. So other than that, there really wasn't. Let's see about this one right here. I'll take that back. There was one right there. So kind of like the SP 500 is the same trade. where you have the first hit in that one would have been your first entry but you have to wait for it to break below this low, so it did right there, and then it hit the second one. So when it hits the second one, the red line right there, that moves your exit up to the 50% line, so they can see it right there. And then if you combine that with the 15-minute chart, let's see what that looks like. If that would have been able to get you in, yeah, that would have been another great entry right there. You can see the 15-minute chart is completely oversold down there. And let's see, we'll put a little, let's put a dot on that candle right there to see what it looks like here in the 1-minute chart. And yeah, you see that would have been a great entry down right there where the 15-minute was overbought right there. So that's how it works. It just kind of all filters together to help get it in on a much better trade. And then kind of like the SP 500, we have this trend going up right here. So let's just make sure real quick. Has it been? It's come back to 30%. So that one's done. So yeah, for Russell 2000. Nothing really looking for it as far as any trade setups right now. You can see it's slightly been grinding higher for the past 3 days, making higher highs right there. So we'll see if that will continue going on tomorrow. Even though it's looking like, a down day, it's 0.60% down today, but overall it's still hit a higher high and has made a higher low than the previous day. So we'll see if that will continue on below. As you can see, pretty much all these have been hitting all their targets. They hit their target, blew it out some from the day before. Here it hit right in between its target, and that's been its target today. Not going to spend a lot of time over the Dow Jones because it's pretty similar to what's been going on with the SP 500 and the Russell 2000, although today has been grinding lower compared to the other ones, but still it's making higher highs and higher lows. So we're definitely in a short term. If this low holds right here, we're definitely in more of a that's probably about ready right there. We're definitely in a trend channel going up here to the upside here in the short term for the Dow Jones. Going with the 4-hour chart, it's the middle of no man's land right now, so nothing really to expect like that. But even for a past, the past while here in the Dow Jones, pretty much been in a range. Look, this has just been a ranging area. It broke it out here a lot downside, came back into it. So after we had this run up right here, it's been in a big range. So we'll just have to wait and see if we will get the retracement back down even lower down here to the downside, or if we're going to go and make a leg up higher and hit it up here at 36,164 between that and 37,879. Lastly, do I want to go over Nasdaq? I'll touch Nasdaq for oil real quick. Nasdaq, you can see, has been in a trend channel going up right here. It has broken out of it recently, so we can pretty much say that, and that is the trend channel for right there. In fact, you could probably even bring it up a little bit right there and say that was the channel right there. Has broken out a little bit to the downside, but it's definitely broken out of this trend channel. So again, just like some of the other ones, the two things we're looking for, it's in the consolidation phase, and if it's going to move lower, we're looking for at least 12,109.50 get hit. At least it obviously can't go lower than that, but if it is going to go up, may make another high, another second leg higher, we'd be looking at hitting somewhere in between 13,268 and 13,857 for that. And in the 4-hour chart, it is coming off being oversold down here, but it's currently in the middle of no man's land and is trending lower. So we'll see what happens with that movement here in Nasdaq. So pretty much similar setup as the past couple charts as well. And then oil, I want to go over because this is still in a live trade right here for it. It started all the way back over here, back on Monday, February 6th, and it still hasn't gotten out of it. We've had some movements down, but it hasn't reached the 50% line, which is what we're looking for, because as you can see from the Andrews pitchfork, the red line right here, when it hits that, that is when we are looking for the 50% level to get hit. It did come a little bit close to hitting the 38% right around here, but as you can see, there's enough space in between there for me not to consider it done. If it came down a little bit lower, I would consider it being done, but did not. Has been grinding higher ever since, and since the U.S. government announced they're going to release, it was a 26 or 28 million more strategic reserve barrels. That's where I think it was over here yesterday is when we had that move down when it was announced, and then this morning we had a big move down. Then for some reason price popped all the way back up right here. So I was in the trade, got out for a real small profit right here, and then I just put a little note on here just get back in when the 15-minute MFI hits the overbought level. So if we look at that right here, it's trending up towards it. So when price goes and touches that or hits it, I'll look at getting in short again for oil. And with the the ultimate, assuming this high stays right here, let's make this right on it to make it accurate. Assuming that high stays, which is about $80.61, and the MFI in the 50-minute chart goes into the overbought territory, the ultimate exit we're looking for would be the 50% line, which is the black line right here, which is about at, what is that, 76.56. I would do a little bit higher, just be safe, like 76.80, something like that. Assuming I hold on like that. But say, for instance, price comes back up here, and the MFI gets to be overbought, and price is right around here. I mean, this is it's almost $3 gain. 300 ticks there in oil, but that's what I'm looking for that. And actually, this one has gone on quite a bit. I mean, normally when it does hit the red level right here, we sooner or later, within a day or so, we see a big drop. But it's gone on for a couple days now, and it's been in a consolidation range. If you use for the past several days, use that right there, and then that right there. It's definitely been just moving around. So price gets back up in here. Plus, we get the MFI being overbought. I think it's a great short candidate for oil moving down lower here in the near-term level for it. So those are the roundups today. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.